Understanding a language and speaking it are two very different things, but that doesn't have to hold you back. In this video, you'll learn why you are struggling to speak in English and how to get comfortable with having a two-way conversation. So you've been learning English for a long time. You've been studying it, you've listened to it, and you understand almost everything someone else is saying in English. But for some reason, when you open your mouth to speak, the words just won't come out. So let me help you understand why this is happening and what you can do to change it so that you can feel confident actually using your voice in English. So let's talk about the difference between book knowledge versus motor movement. So I like using the example of a piano. So you may listen to piano music a lot. Okay, maybe you're an expert listener to piano music. You can identify all of the technical details of someone else playing the piano. You know all the composers and all the styles, and you can break down the music theoretically. However, if you haven't actually sat down at a piano and trained your fingers to move along the keys, it will feel uncomfortable until you have trained your finger muscles to move in that way. So this is the same process of speaking English. So you haven't actually practiced the skill of speaking. This is something that has to change. You have to get more experience actually speaking. But a lot of times you're not speaking up because of a fear, okay? There's fear holding you back. Let's say you can speak with people you're comfortable with, and maybe that includes other non-native English speakers or your family or close friends. So what is it about this group that helps you feel comfortable? Well, it's because you don't feel judgment from them. You don't have a fear of making mistakes because it's okay to make mistakes with these people. Okay? You don't feel like if you make a mistake, they're gonna judge you or they're gonna think less of you. This is all in your mind, okay? It's the way that you're thinking about yourself and the way that you're thinking about others when you speak English. Your brain will not let you put yourself in a potentially dangerous situation. It wants to protect you. So we have to train the mind to overcome this fear because you are actually not unsafe when you're speaking with maybe native English speakers. You're actually quite safe usually, and the fear comes because you just don't want that judgment from them. So let's take away that fear. And this takes practice and repetition, but it can happen. So after you get that repetition, it will feel more and more comfortable. And when I'm talking about repetition in this situation, it's both just going ahead and speaking even though you maybe don't feel as comfortable or confident, maybe just overcoming that fear by taking action. And it can be done through changing the way that you think about it. Change the story in your head. You know, they may not be judging you, okay? And even if they are, oh well. Okay, they get to think whatever thoughts they have, and you get to think whatever you want. Okay, so let's choose empowering thoughts to really think on purpose and practice those empowering thoughts. Okay, so the next step is practice. Okay, just like I mentioned before, what's the difference between you and a native English speaker? Practice. A native English speaker has simply had years and years more practice than you have. Okay, so don't compare yourself to natives. I know it's a very natural thing to do, but don't compare yourself. It's like comparing apples and oranges. Okay, it just really doesn't add up. Okay, what you need to do is compare you to you. Okay, are you better now than you were a year ago? If you really think about that and you look back, you can probably identify, oh, I am way better in speaking English than I was a year ago. Or maybe you're like, I actually haven't been really growing in my spoken English because I haven't been speaking up. So if that's the case, I want you to really look at that and say, okay, am I doing better than I was before? If not, then I need to do something different. Just increasing by 1%. Add small habits, just a small habit every day. That will make you grow and improve so much more than just not doing anything. The way that you can practice more, find people who have similar interests. Join groups or join activities where you're doing something that you enjoy, maybe that isn't connected to speaking English, but you're doing it with other English speakers. Okay, it takes the focus off of your English and onto the activity, where you can kind of just enjoy the activity and practice English at the same time. Okay, another way is to start where you feel the most safe and then slowly build out. Okay, so you feel safe speaking with these people. What if I just kind of extended that a little bit to this other person who I, kind of know is gonna, might not judge me, or that I am stepping out of that comfort zone and just trying someone new. Okay, so slowly build out. Another strategy is just to keep it light and fun. Laugh at yourself. If you're making mistakes and you're practicing and you're learning, just keep it light. It's okay. It's okay to laugh at yourself when you make mistakes. It's okay to just have fun with it. So keep it fun. The more fun it is, the more you're going to want to do it. But if you make it this heavy, hard situation, you're really not going to want to step into that very often. So one thing that I hear from my students quite often is they get really frustrated with this concept of once I start speaking, people will ask, well, where are you from? And that feels like a rejection to many of them. Okay, this is not a rejection. So let's reframe this in our mind. It's not a rejection of who you are and where you're from. Okay, it's a sign that you belong, that they want to know more about you. So it might be kind of annoying to have to constantly be, explaining where you're from or talking about where you're from, but use it to your advantage. Whenever I hear somebody who has an accent, I'm actually more interested in talking to them than a native speaker, because I'm just more interested because they have a unique story that maybe I haven't heard before. Okay, I'm interested in who they are, where they're from, and the journey that they've taken to get to where they are. And I want you to recognize that within yourself. You have a unique story. You have a lot that's interesting about you. So the more that you speak up, the more that you kind of use your voice, the better. And people are going to accept you. They are going to connect with you. They're going to want to make that connection with you. And you are going to be able to belong to that group. And so much of that belonging comes from how you think about yourself. Okay? You judge yourself way more than other people are going to judge you. So go ahead and step out of your comfort zone and really start speaking up in English and practicing English, because it is kind of a trap to understand all these things in English but not actually be able to have the freedom and flexibility and opportunities to actually use the language. So if this was helpful for you, go ahead and comment below kind of what stood out to you. What was your aha moment from this, or what did it bring to mind for you? And go ahead and subscribe to get more videos. And if you want to learn more about how to speak American English like a native English speaker, check out this video.